Coming up next on Racing Around the World, brought to you by HPIBet.com, we cover 3 continents. North America for the Pennine Ridge, the Penn Mile, and the Max Elite Invite. Asia, oh yeah, it's all about the Japanese Derby. Our boys are back. Robert Reed Jr. and Klaus Ebner, and oh yes, Europe as well. Sweden, the hottest spot of all for the Elitloppet. Peter Anderson will drop by with his thoughts. And oh yes, Chad and I will have another edition of the Bet Battle. It's all coming at you right now. Keep it right where you got it. It is a long weekend for our favorite friends south of the 49th. Happy Memorial Day long weekend. Jason Portwando alongside Chad Rosema. And Rosie, we got our long weekend 7 days ago.
Yeah, I got a feeling theirs is going to look a little bit different than ours did. We're not quite able to celebrate the way we want, but we're getting there. We're getting closer. We'll know we'll be there. We know we're getting closer to our racing. If the qualifiers are an indication at Mohawk Park, I mean, nearly 400 horses over 3 days are going to be prepping to get back to work, and we're all ready to get back to work. So looking forward to it. But yeah, as you said off the top, happy Memorial Day weekend to all of our friends south of the border.
And just like you and I, they can't wait as well for Woodbine and Woodbine Mohawk Park to return. Yeah, we are one step closer every day. And soon enough, we will see those names on this schedule, courtesy of HPI Bet. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday will be very busy stateside as talked about. And you know what? Kind of the calm before the storm. I know no huge races this week. I know we got some great ones in the mix, but our next Triple Crown affair, 1 week away.
Oh, I can't wait till they draw that Belmont program. Not just the Belmont Stakes, but the card itself. It's going to be so good. And, you know, the stars that we've got in this sport that are going to be there. So looking forward to that. But, you know, busy, and you already talked about it with the long weekend. We get to go right into Monday with some great stakes action, you know, and just more to look into. Plus from everywhere. Glad to see Solvala as well. You talked about it. We've got the Elitloppet coming up on Sunday. Always the final weekend in May. And for the second year in a row, they won't have fans there, Jason, but they still put on one heck of a show.
We should mention as well, Friday, to really set the tone, set the stage today, Belterra Park has 5 Best of Ohio affairs. Hopefully the weather cooperates. It might turn a little bit nasty a little bit later on. And then tonight, Penn National as well, Chad.
Penn National on the Friday, yes, sir. And Saturday, of course, getting busy. Stakes everywhere. Churchill, 7 stakes races. A couple of grade 3s. Yes. We've got some local horses that are going to be competing. I know Kevin Actard's got some out there as well. Maybe some Queen's Plate hopefuls. We'll see. Santa Anita's got a big weekend. You know, they didn't get a great draw for those graded stakes on Saturday, but, you know, going in throughout the rest of the weekend. Excited to see what they get for the Monday cards.
Oh, and what a Monday it is going to be. I love it because nothing better than Sunday wrapping up and you're thinking, all right, now I got to wait for, Wednesday before the good racing to come back. But no. We got some bonus coverage for you coming up on Monday. There's a look. Okay, Santa Anita with 3 grade 1s, the Gamely Hollywood Gold Cup Shoemaker Mile. So it is a jam-packed edition of Racing Around the World. You ready?
Yes, sir. Let's go.
All right, let's go. You heard the man. First stop, Grantville, Pennsylvania, Penn National Racecourse. A little primetime action. Here's a look at the field of 7. It's the grade 2 Penn Mile, flat mile, if you didn't know already, on the grass there in Pennsylvania. We should mention $300,000 the purse for these sophomores, and 5 of the 7, Chad, either graded stakes winners, or I should say stakes winners, or at least stakes placed.
I think it's a pretty good group. I really do. And they get that good purse to chase for. I think there's so many of them that are just evenly matched, and some maybe cutting back going to this mile distance that could stand to benefit. Who knows? Some that are just lightly raced that are starting to show great talent and maybe will continue to elevate. We'll see. And then we've got some that are trying to bounce back as well. And that's what we're going to do, Jay. We're going to have a look back at the American turf. The grade 2 from Churchill Downs. This was on Derby Day, and a couple of them here coming out of this race. We've got Annex, who's the 4 in this case. Chess's Dream, the 3. They switched positions this week, but I just, in those yellow silks and the pink cap, that's Chess's Dream. I'll tell you what, this was a pretty good move. kept moving really well. It ended up, being 10th and getting up to 4th with that quick move. And then even coming off of the turn with the lead, or on the outside near the leaders, I should say. But then it starts to flatten out. But this is a mile and 16th, Porty, and I just almost wonder if, had this been a mile and that move, kind of timed again, maybe it could have been all right. The one to the inside there, Annex, who was the race favorite, we saw a little bit briefly, was on the wrong lead, but then still kind of crooked in the stretch and just simply didn't have it. That was the first time this one has ever put in a clunker. He had been undefeated prior to that race, and I think he can bounce back. He gets blinkers put back on here, tonight at Belmont, saying he's a hyper horse. So, you know what, maybe this is just going to be a big thing to kind of help him out. But I really feel that Annex is a horse that can rebound, Jason. He's 2 for 2 at the mile distance, on the turf as well. So he's maybe not going to be as low as he would be had he been coming in here off of that graded stakes win. But now you're going to get, a better price, but I think you're going to get a better performance from him too. So I like Annex in this first graded stakes that we take a look at. What about you?
Solid pick. I mean, first time we've, seen this guy taste defeat, right? So you can give him one. He's perfect with Junior Alvarado on his back. Those two are going to reunite. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was lugging in quite badly, but blinkers, maybe that'll help straighten things out for a fabulous combination of Mott and Alvarado. I love the fact that you showed the American turf, because I really feel like Chess's Dream, that was a premature move, in my opinion. Jose Ortiz just gave him his head, and the horse kind of ran off down the backstretch and picked off a bunch of rivals, and then went 4, 5, maybe even 6 wide at the top of the stretch, as we saw. So I'm just going to give this guy a bit of another look, just because I don't think the field came up all that tough. Annex is obviously a formidable foe. This one finished ahead of that guy, as you just documented there in the replay. Kendrick Carmouche doesn't do a lot of riding for Mike Maker. Maker's been hot. So maybe Carmouche can ride some of that Maker magic to victory here in this Penn Mile. I'm going to go Chess's Dream at 5-1 for a little bit of a surprise. Chad will go next door to the 9-5 favorite Annex. Anybody else intrigue you, or that's about it?
Well, I know the morning line favorite Outdoor on the outside. I just wonder the distance. When he's not sprinting, it hasn't worked out for him. I know he was third in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, and that's obviously a tough bunch, but he still hasn't been able to get that distance. So where I think this hurts him, I think the distance helps your horse.
Yeah, we're going to find out. Even though it's a compact field, quite a few storylines going into that race. Once again, 7:46 Eastern. That's a nighttime affair. Penn National, their biggest few days on the 2021 calendar. Off to Belmont Park for the Pennine Ridge, a grade 2. That's a prep locally for the Belmont Derby Invite. That goes on July the 10th. It's the first leg of the Naira Turf Triple Series, and that's a pretty intriguing field of 9 we've got set to go postward. Hard Love goes in as a favorite, and I realize that every race has to have its favorite, but I'm not completely sold on that one. Obviously in with a chance, but I think this is a race that can go in several different directions.
Similar feeling with this one, maybe even more so than what we see at Penn National. I think there's so many in here that are just evenly matched, and then those question mark type horses, including my top pick that we'll get to in a few moments. But I want to go back, Jason, and have a look back at an Ontario bred that pulled off a stunner of an upset. He was the longest shot on the board, in fact, in this race. And Lescano was able to get Safe Conduct, the son of Bodemeister, off to a fast start. I think he started from post 8, although he's wearing the 10 saddlecloth. And, was able to track, made his move, and he's still a comfortable winner. One of the favorites, Public Sector, comes through late. He'll end up getting up for second here. But Safe Conduct got the win. He has improved with each and every start, especially from a buyer, figure standpoint. And he was 38-1 that day, Porty, and I have no idea why he was such a high. I mean, I'm not saying he should have been any kind of a favorite, but he shouldn't have been 38-1 against, there were too many in there that were similar to him. He just shouldn't have been that overlooked.
Well, he's on your radar, but I can sort of feel that he's not your top pick. Where are you going?
I like him, and I like Public Sector too, but Sainthood. Sainthood was a horse that I kind of had a decent feeling about going into the Kentucky Derby. I know it didn't work out for him, and I ultimately didn't pick him anyway, but I love the way he was working. He had that troubled trip too back in the Jeff Ruby Stakes, which I think he wins if he doesn't have to basically stop. As for the turf, you know what? His dad was a 6-time winner on the turf, including a grade 1 victory. So I think that's going to be just fine, especially he got over a synthetic track well. I think he'll handle this. Picks up Joel Rosario. I think Pletcher and St. Hood can come out of the Derby winners on the turf.
Pletcher and Rosario, a combination you don't see a lot of, but St. Hood in the mix. And I kind of feel like so far on this show, remember back in the day, you have a project and everybody's supposed to do their part, and you show up and your partner's done all the work for you. You're showing all the right replays and you're not picking the right horse. Safe conduct, you just showed it. This Ontario bred, I know I'm kind of playing the game backwards here because he was nearly 40-1 in that last start, and I'm not going to get anything near that, but I think he's got a legit shot to come right back for Lascano and Serpi. They're 8 for 29 in terms of stakes events all time. That's like 27%. So I don't mind this horse. I think he's going to prove that he's ready to tackle the big boys. I'm just not sure about no Lasix because the last two were with the anti-bleeding medication and it has produced his top two figures. So I'm hoping that wasn't the reason why. The interim works have been solid. This guy is good to go, and I think he's got a chance to be a nice little surprise player at 6-1. So I appreciate, once again, you providing the visual evidence of a horse that I like.
And I was going to touch on that too, just to make a stronger case for your horse. You already mentioned it. The works since that last win. I mean, and over the turf, a pair of bullets. So
solid.
Yeah, maybe I'm doing that. I can just tell you right now, I would not have been the one getting that project. Well, maybe working on it, but not in on time. That's for sure.
Oh, geez. All right. So let's put North America to bed, if you will, for now, because up next, we're off to Harrah's, Philadelphia. So back to the state of Pennsylvania. It's the Harrah's venue. We got the Maxie Lee Memorial Invite. Take a look at this field. I mean, we had a stacked Cutler. Now we've got a stacked Maxie Lee Invite. 4 millionaires. You got a double millionaire, and she is coming off a Herculean effort. Scratch that. Wonder Woman-like effort because she is of the female persuasion. Man, oh man, she never saw the cones. It didn't matter. She simply wanted it more than the others last time out.
Yeah, huge trip. And you know what? The only thing that can maybe work against her is maybe that took a lot out of her. I don't know. But maybe it works the other way. Nancy thought she could perhaps be a little short coming into this race. Well, this is one way to tighten her up. She got parked every step of the way. She's battling. These are all top horses. Guardian Angel AS is the one with the lead. Manchego on the outside. Right. You've even got Majestic Player. I'll tell you what, he's really come on the scene. I think he's going to be a good fit as well at this Grand Circuit level. Even Forbidden Trade, he was parked every step from the 10 hole. He's closing to be fourth. A good effort from him, but just Manchego, she is such a champion. I'm so happy that she's back racing. And I was happy to have her win for me this night at a unbelievable 9-2. 9-2. But she's never raced at Harrah's Philly. Now, is that going to matter? No, she can win anywhere. She can win on any size of track as well. But I'm going to try and beat her because we know she's going to get bet so much in here, Jason. And I'm going to go to Guardian Angel AS because we know he's also a top talent. He's got a great track record here at Harrah's Philly. Plus, there's my boy Timmy T, right? Didn't work out for me last weekend, but I think Guardian Angel AS, as long as he can just get off to a fast start, he's had no choice from this 7 hole. Then I think he can do it. So that last race was at least a step in the right direction for him. If he builds off of that, I think he can win. And he's won this already before. He won it back in 2019.
Solid pick. You know what? As much as we talk about Manchego and her unbelievable effort in that mile, your horse, Guardian Angel, as well. First quarter, 26-3. That's boogieing. And then when he saw Manchego coming, popped out of the pocket because he knew he was behind that Shagwell horse, and that horse was not going to be a player. Right. So he got out of Swanstead's off his back and around him, and that was a big time effort by that horse. So another solid play in my estimation. For me, I'm going to go Forbidden Trade. I'm going to wave the red and white flag here and give this local a chance to do some damage. You talked about that last race. He came home in 27 seconds flat, so faster than a lot of them. Wasn't enough to get it done, but I really feel like it's going to be a nice primer. And I love the way Luc Blais has sent this guy over to Harrah's, Philadelphia for a daytime mile, a qualifier. Reminds me of what he did when he won the Hamble, right? Go for a little bit of qualifying action. Just get a little bit of a perusal of the venue. I think he's going to need some racing luck. And if he gets it, Forbidden Trade to give Bob and Blair a bit of a surprise victory there. And what's going to be a fabulous race. I mean, we could have made a case for a bunch of them. I mean, Loved by the Masses, I know it's a long shot, but you and I talked about it. Doug McNair has been driving lights out. He may not come back.
Yeah, he's got, nearly 30 wins already, since being down there. He's getting some good business, and we obviously know Loved by the Masses quite well from our own parts. Amigo Volo stepped it up last time. He usually takes a little while to get going. He's no slouch. Jits Academic's been awesome, but now he's stuck in the 8-hole. So there's going to be a lot of action. It could set it up well for you, but you talk about that qualifier. I believe that same qualifier was also on a Tuesday, the week of the Hambletonian when he had that. And this one was on Tuesday morning. Just saying. But you know what? That was his first start. And last year, he only raced a handful of times. So this is a horse that I think is primed for a big year. Whether it starts on Sunday, we'll see. But just a great, great card at Harris Philadelphia all day long.
Might be a case of deja vu all over again. Looking forward to that one. Comes your way on Sunday, the penultimate day of action for the long weekend coming up stateside. All right, so North America, check. What about Asia? I mean, we are having a lot of fun as a North American hub for Japanese racing, and the fun continues this weekend with a huge race. It's the Japanese Derby. We're not going to talk about it. We're not worthy. But hey, the HPIBet.com boys are back. Let's check in with Robert Reed Jr. and Klaus Ebner.
Thanks very much, Jason. Well, Rob, we had the Oaks last week, and the Unicorn Sodashi couldn't get the job done, but this week we have another undefeated horse in the form of Euphoria looking to get the job done in the Japanese Derby.
Yeah, and Klaus, I didn't listen to you last time in the Suzuki show with Euphoria, and boy, did I ever regret that because he was incredible. A much the best winner, and I think he's going to be tough to beat here in the second leg of the Japanese Triple Crown, but he's going to be a big favorite. So let's get creative and let's try to find some value. And we're going to go with horses that have already gone this distance before in a race where many haven't. And the first of those two for me is Wonderful Town. He missed the Suzuki show due to a hoof problem, but then came back with an impressive victory going this distance of 1.5 miles in his latest. He's a big striding horse, loves lots of ground, should be around 15-1. I like his chances on Saturday night. The other one, a little more creative, Red Genesis, should be north of 30-1 in odds. He won at this distance back in March and came back with another nice Grade 2 win just 3 weeks ago, going 2,200 meters. So I think both of those horses have a chance at the ticket. But Klaus, my girl Sodashi went down to defeat. Will your boy Euphoria get the job done?
Again, it's the Derby, Rob, so we don't know what's going to happen. But I do think that he is the goods, and I will not be playing against Euphoria this weekend. I'm strictly in his camp. He's my boy. I'm going to ride or die, as you did with Sodashi. I'm going to ride and die with Euphoria. And for me, I'm just going to keep it very simple and just play Euphoria over title holder, a repeat of the Satsuki Show Exactor. Title holder showed me a lot in that race. He held off all the closers. He was handily beaten by Euphoria by about 3 lengths, but I think he'll be the controlling speed yet again on Saturday or Sunday in Japan. I think he can go a long way again and hold off this field, and who knows, maybe able to pull an upset by taking this field all the way. So again, I think it's going to be Euphoria and title holder 1-2 yet again in the Japanese Derby. Well, Rob, we do have some big carryovers as well in the big race with the high five.
Yeah, in that feature race, we have a high five carryover in excess of $8,000, and the early pick 5, low takeout of 15%, a carryover of more than $3,000. Save the date and stay up late with us.
I like it. I'll do exactly that. Hey, you don't have to twist my arm. Just a friendly reminder that, yes, we have a ton of Japanese racing on HPI Bet. And oh yeah, the Derby will not disappoint. I smell an upset. That's all I'm going to say. I smell an upset. And yes, keep an eye on that. Jackpot high five with a 15% takeout. So North America, check. Asia, check. Europe, that's no big surprise here on the show, but usually it's thoroughbreds. Not this time around.
Elitloppet, the world's most prestigious sprinter race, last weekend in May.
Yes, indeed. It puts a smile on my face. As much as thoroughbred fans love that first Saturday in May, I love the final days of May because we talk harness racing in Europe. Don't get a chance to do that often, Chad, but what a race, what a weekend it's going to be at Solvalla.
Well, and such a history, right? When you think of big races, we think of, Hambletonian, we think of Pepsi North America Cup. we think of the Elitloppet, and these are just, you know, the events, right? And you look forward to that. I know they're not going to have fans there again this year because they usually have like 50,000 plus in attendance. Yeah. But the show goes on for the second year in a row, and you know, I'm sure they'll be back to fans next year. But it's going to be a lot of fun Sunday, and I'm glad that we're carrying it on HPI Bet.
Oh, what a betting race it's going to be! You got 16 horses, 8 per heat. It's going to be just a punter's dream, if you will. We're going to call a friend again, but this time we got to hit one first as we're dialing long distance. We're going to check in with Swedish harness racing expert Peter Anderson, get his thoughts on this year's Elitloppet.
Well, guys, I'm really excited about the Elitloppet this year. I mean, the speculations are always on when it comes to Elitloppet, but this year is really something else because it sounds like and it seems like all 16 can actually win. That's how wide open this year's Elitloppet is. But I'm gonna give you my view of the whole event. And when it comes to the first heat, I think the winner of the whole thing is there with number 1, Vivid Wise Ass. This Italian horse has won, you know, the biggest sprint race in France 2 years in a row. And the driver has two main things to sort out here. Not to get locked in and not to let the horse make a break. And I think he's going to get past the 2, Money Viking, who is not very fast from the start. And once he's out of the first lane, he's going to be very tough to stop. And I think actually he's going to win the first elimination. Number 8, Don Fanucci said, is a top horse. He's also a horse who can win the big final. But when it comes to Örjan Kihlström, the driver, he never uses everything out of the horse in the first heat. He wants to save that little bit to the final. So keep that in mind when it comes to Örjan Kihlström and 8, Don Fanucci said. But I think Vivid Wise Ass and number 8, Don Fanucci said, are definitely the best horses out of the 16. So one of them are going to win the final. I would say Vivid Wise Ass at this point. And when we go to the second heat, I think it's slightly weaker than the first one. And I think number 2, Heavy Sound, is heavily overlooked here. He's fast out behind the gate. I'm sure he's going to get past the 1, Cockstyle, who won the race last year, but he's not in the same shape this year. And when 2, Heavy Sound, is in the front, he has never lost ever in his career. So he can be a big outsider win in the second elimination. Number 3, Seismic Wave, is definitely going to do a top performance in the first heat. I'm worried about him with 2 races in the same day, though. So in the final, I will be careful with 3, Seismic Wave. And then 8, Very Kronos, is among the best horses. But that's a tough spot with the 8 hole over the sprint race. But he's going to make it to the finals. So I think number 2 and number 3 are going to put up the best performances in the second heat. And 8, Very Kronos, is somewhere up there as well. So there you have it. Vivid Wise Ass is my winner for the whole event. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'm looking forward to this Elitloppet so much. Let's have some fun and let the horses run. Take care, guys.
I'm going to steal that. Let's have some fun and watch the horses run. That's awesome stuff.
I like it.
6 million krona up for grabs as we have 16 horses over those couple of heats. And, oh, yeah, it's going to be one heck of a final. I'm going to go Gelati cut. Just saying. Just saying. But we'll see what happens.
I'm Don Fanucci.
Okay, perfect. We got it covered.
Yeah.
Thank goodness we still have a little something to do. And, by the way, I'm not even going to dance this week because I'm still upset with my drive. I mean, Hypnotic AM should have won last week over
2 starts in a row. I can't believe you didn't leave.
Oh, and then be third over turning for home and lose by that much. But all that shows up, Chad, is another loss in the loss column.
We like to donate, right? We like to donate.
Yeah. We should have had the exacta. Oh. Anyways, whatever. It's all good. Let's wipe the slate clean. We got a fresh $25. We're going back to North America. We're going to celebrate Matt Wynn, if you will, the former president at one time of Churchill Downs, Hall of Famer. We salute you as part of tradition in Louisville, Kentucky, with a name honored because of you. Race honored because of Matt Wynn. Yeah, and we should mention as well, the turf course is named Matt Wynn, but we're on the main track at 1 mile and a 16th. $150,000 the purse. We see some familiar names there from the Derby Trail.
Yes, sir. We get Cassie looking to rebound with Helium. Bezos was another horse that, there were quite a few talking about him heading into the Derby as well. He raced okay to be fifth in there. So they're going to be some main players, but don't laugh at me because I'm picking the 7 Sitting on Go. You know what? This horse won the Iroquois at Churchill last year, so his biggest win came over this track. He's got a decent track record there, but he's been kind of awful since. Now that last start, although he was 5th in the Pat Day Mile, they were really, really fast early and very slow late. So it helped him close, but he still looked really good closing, 25 and change on the end of it. I think maybe that was him tipping his hand, a good work coming in. So I've got him across the board, him along with Bezos, the main one, in the try, along with the 1, 2, 4, 5, and then just use that pair in Exacta as well. So I've got coverage. I got a price horse here sitting on Go at 8-1 in the morning line, Porty.
All right. I'm not messing around this week. By the way, Europe, check. All right. Bezos for me. Last 3 races for this guy, he's lost to Mandaloon, Hot Rod Charlie, and of course Medina Spirit in the Kentucky Derby. Nothing like what he's going to face coming up on the weekend. Bezos, clearly his race to win and or lose. $20 to win on that guy. And then Mark Cassie's Helium. Didn't race all that badly in the Derby. Was right up there with a scorching hot pace. Not scorching hot, but hot enough. 46-3, 111-1. You're going 1.25 miles. I'm just going to play a flat 3-2 Exacta. Hopefully Folsom doesn't come up and bite me in the butt. But we covered a lot of ground on this edition of the program. North America, we talked about Asia, Europe. It feels good, though.
Yeah, it does. A lot to cover this week, but we know next week, even though we'll have a lot to cover, I think it's going to be a lot from kind of one venue. We know Belmont Stakes coming up, so we're getting into that. And then again, very, very soon, we're going to be talking our own harness and thoroughbred programs right here on Racing Around the World.
Can't wait, and not to toot our own horn, but I will. You're not going to find another program like this. 2 breeds, 1 network, HPIBet.com. Watch and wager on a ton of action over the long weekend. Once again, we salute our friends to the south. We also salute Robert Reed Jr., Klaus Ebner, Peter Anderson, producer Luke Van Belcom, and my main man right there, Chad Rosema, all a part of this edition of Racing Around the World, brought to you by HPIBet.com. I'm Jason Portwando. Thanks for the company. Enjoy all the action. We'll see you again soon.